Joined by Doug Locker with the Vancouver Stealth. Doug, first off, thanks for doing this. Minto Cup action, you've got to be thrilled you're here.
Love it. It's nice to have it in our own building, too. It's a short commute.
What was it like trying to get this to host it here? I mean, it was a big undertaking?
Well, we weren't involved directly in it. Jared Harmon at the LEC was really the leader in that group, and we're just involved as a sponsor, and certainly happy to do it to support the event.
You've got to be pleased with the support that the Stealth are getting, not just from the Langley area, but the Lower Mainland and the community in general.
It's been terrific, and a night like this, when you can walk around and see everybody, see some old friends and people you haven't seen in a couple months, it's a great experience. Love it.
Since the last time you and I spoke at a Delta Islanders game, had some coaching changing first. We'll go with that.
Yeah, as everybody knows, Chris Hall had a relapse of his cancer, which is obviously a tragedy, and we all feel for him and his family. And the upside to something like that, taking something good out of something bad, is that we hired Dan Parra as our head coach. Dan is a guy that's been with our organization for a couple of years, and really was a guy when we hired him that came in under that succession plan. CH was really an advocate of really grooming somebody when he stepped aside, and it had happened sooner than I think we all had hoped it would, but we feel Dan's the right guy, and obviously demonstrated his coaching ability this year with great job with New West.
Is that going to change the coaching staff that are going to work under him?
Well, we also hired, as you know, Dan coached our offense, so we needed to find a replacement for Dan, and what we did is we went to Caleb Toth, who's coaching with the Nanaimo Senior Timbermen, and Caleb's a guy who we were real excited to get, a younger guy in the game, and somebody who'd won a bunch of NLL championships as a player, been involved now as a coach, and somebody we think who's ready, and real excited to have him on board. And then the rest of the staff will stay intact. Artie Webster will coordinate our defense. Dave Evans will still work with our goaltenders, and Kevin Alexander will stay involved as well.
It's important to have that mixture of youth and, I guess, senior people involved as well. Without saying older people,
right,
it's just nice to have them involved.
No, and the beauty of all this is that Chris Hall is staying involved with the organization as an advisor to the organization, and I expect he's going to be probably at every practice and every meeting we have. I mean, he just can't stay away.
You've got an event coming up here September the 3rd. Tell me about it.
We're the National Lacrosse League Hall of Fame is inducting Pat Coyle and Chris Hall to the Hall of Fame, and that's really another first to have the NLL Hall of Fame here out west, and I think it's apropos with Chris being a Victoria guy and Pat living out west, and all the friends and family and former teammates and current players that are playing for those guys. I think it's going to be a great event, and extra special to again have it here at the LEC, which is a real treat.
I get asked by a lot of people, the move from Washington State up to the Lower Mainland, is it what you thought it would be at this stage?
I actually think that it's more. I have to kind of pinch myself every day because the reception that we get when we go to games during the summer and move around in the off season is just so supportive. And again, an event like this where you walk around and everybody is just engaged in your success and wants to see you be successful and wants to talk about the moves we've made and who we've got and what's coming. It's great.
Other moves that you've made, tell us about them.
Well, we made a trade this week. We traded Mike Grimes, a defender who had been with us for 7 seasons, to Minnesota for Tyler Haas and Dane Stevens. So essentially Mike had gotten a job in the East, relocated back to Ontario, and the trade just seemed perfect. Tyler's a guy who produces a lot of goals out of the back end. He's a Western guy. Dane Stevens was in Minnesota. He's a Ladner guy, and playing in Burnaby now. And we're just happy really to have those two guys because they really fill 2 needs for us. Obviously replacing Mike Grimes is not easy. We think Tyler can do a large part of that, and then Dane Stevens really fills a hole for us on the crease on the left side. We felt like we needed some help there. We think Dane's the guy that can do it. You
re-signed young Richardson as well.
We did. Brad Richardson was with us, last year. Did a great job. I think had a really good summer with Coquitlam, and a big, mean, plays on the edge kind of guy who we love.
That's important. You've got Dave Evans on board as well still, right?
We do. Dave's coaching our goaltenders, and Dave's just got a wealth of experience, not only for our goaltenders, but for me. Having a guy who has been a former coach in the league with the Wings and former GM with the Ravens, it's selfishly, it's a great resource for myself as well as the goalies.
The thing I enjoy watching the coaching staff, the way they work and intermix with some of the younger players coming up, is just the enthusiasm. They smile, they're having fun, and they love teaching the youth. That's what I love, are the younger people coming up.
Yeah, and at any level of lacrosse, I mean, none of us do this for the money. I wish we did, but those guys just love coaching, love being around the game, and they're all here tonight, around the corner in our area, having a great time, talking about the game constantly and what they're seeing. So it's great.
Think of the income tax you're saving, though.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
That's the good part.
Denise loves it too.
Yeah, I bet. Now you're watching Six Nations.
Yeah.
They're a strong team. Scoring the goal 8 seconds in. I think that caught a lot of people by surprise.
Well, this is the first time I've had a chance to see them play this season, and they're great. They're fantastic. I mean, they're moving the ball well. They're big. They're athletic, and kudos to Coquitlam. I mean, they're going toe to toe with them and doing a great job too.
Just like a scouting thing for you as well, where you can actually intermix, get the word out about the Vancouver Stealth, but also scout some of the upcoming players?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the draft is coming up the middle of September, so it gives us a good look at some of the prospects that are coming up from both the Adnacs and also Six Nations. So it gives us that opportunity, although I'd be lying to you. I mean, tonight is as much social as it is scouting. I think as we settle into the next couple of days, it'll probably turn into be a little more scouting.
Hey, Doug, I wish you all the success with the Vancouver Stealth down the road. I know for one, I'm just ecstatic you're back in town. This is just something that's really needed to help grow the community. I know the one thing that's really come out of this that's positive, maybe you're not aware of it, North Delta Lacrosse and Ladner Lacrosse have now amalgamated, and they become one lacrosse association to better the game, which is really proactive for them.
That's great, and what we're trying to do, and hopefully now that we've been here for a year, we're going to be able to be more ingrained in some of the minor associations, and it's fun, even moving around the provincials, it's been fun to kind of see the growth there too, so we're thrilled, and thank you for your support.
Oh, we love coming out here, myself, George and Bruce, we just have an absolute ball coming out here. All the luck down the road with you, and again, we'll see you September the 3rd at the induction ceremonies.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Doug.
Pleasure.